Hi, Leishel. In this video, I'm going to take a few minutes to discuss why I'm doing this, my journey that brought me to this current juncture. In previous videos, I mentioned how I inspired and collaborated with community members to form the national nonprofit Sandy Hook Promise, which continues to this day and is very successful. A couple months after the shooting, I accompanied a mother to a church in North Hartford, which is a predominantly Black community. She shared her experience losing a child in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. And while the people that were gathered there were empathetic towards her and our community, they also expressed anger and pain about how their community is treated differently, that their children are dying every day on the streets of Hartford and are sometimes left to clean the blood off the porch or in the street out front of their house before the siblings come home off the bus to see their brother or sister's blood in the streets. So that experience, and months after that, just hearing stories of survivors really made me reflect on what it was that moved me. And in preparation for a speaking engagement at Southeastern Louisiana's annual Social Justice Speakership Series, that's a mouthful, I reflected on that. And the stories are what really sat with me. And I was trying to understand and reflect on the motivation, my initial motivation that formed Sandy Hook Promise, and I tried to tap into that. And so I created a project called Sodina to share people's stories, to help engender empathy in people, and also highlight the scope, scale, and proximity of violence to people in the hopes that they would take action in their own communities to stem the tide of violence. Now, another key moment for me was the 2016 election and the lead up to that, where we had particularly one candidate normalizing hate, bigotry, and fear, which continue to this day. And we've seen the awful repercussions of that over the last few years. Another key moment for me was Nicole Hannah-Jones' New York Times 1619 project, which really opened my eyes further to the 400 years of oppression and embedded disadvantage in our country that our country was built on, quite frankly. So each of those things were key for me and furthered my drive to do something. Collectively, they really helped kind of take the blinders off, so to speak, or reduce my blind spots. I'm sure I still have some. But when I quit my job after internal consulting, managing a group for the private equity market, I quit due to health reasons. I took time to recover from that and reflect on my kind of burning desire to move into the space that started 10 years ago, that I was passionate about. And I was fortunate that my mother heard the pain and knew my journey up to this point and offered, and this is a privilege, I recognize this is a huge privilege I have, offered to start paying some inheritance forward to enable me to move into this space, which I have been doing. And I am so grateful for that privilege. And I want to use that to help other people along their journeys to create a more just and peaceful society. So it's really, it seems strange that it took me almost 50 years to kind of figure out who I am and what my purpose is, but this is really what I feel at my core. And I believe I can help people along in their own journeys to be more inclusive person, organization, and team. So I hope you'll stick with me and look at the next video on the unique perspective that I bring, both with my advocacy work and my corporate experience, and how I'm blending those two things together in, I think, a very unique way. Thank you.